Okay, hey guys, good morning to you. Let me get my headphones on. I'm getting all situated here. But good morning or good afternoon, depending on your time zone today. Got some background weird noise going on there, unless that's the song. Very strange. Alright, have we got the bot up? I know I'm not on my main screen. Just give me one quick sec. Right, we got that up. We got this up. I'm trying something new today. That's Stream Manager, right? Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying something new today. You know, we're always working, when we've been working during the teaching streams, I'm usually working straight from the Bromefields website. And all of this crap that's on the site, I can't deal with it. I know I should be able to just ignore it, but, you know, all of these pop-up stupid ads and stuff like that, it bugs the crap out of me. So what I've done today is actually type out the pattern. So we'll refer to this because we're gonna look at the video and stuff like that. But I'm gonna work off of this today just so we don't have the Showtime ad popping up and stuff like that. But if you need the pattern that we're gonna work from today, if you do !pattern in chat, the bot will give you the pattern that we're using. And let me get my other window. I've got so many windows open just to stream. It's ridiculous. So I am using a new version of OBS that has the chat embedded in it. The problem is I can't, so let me see. I have a hard time showing you guys what this looks like because it will go screenception. So this is the chat, and see how small it is? I can't make that bigger. I can't make it bigger than that. And when I pull in my Twitch window, hopefully this isn't going to be a mistake when I do this. When I pull in my Twitch window, I can make that bigger, right? So it's, I don't know. The whole thing is kind of screwy. I'm using 3 windows to do what I used to do with limited windows. So it is the new thing that I will be doing, and it's annoying me. Hey, in Japan, Lady Frenzy, you are in love with the Twitch stream dashboard, all except they don't have the who is watching you option. The new one, you mean? The new Streamlabs, the new Twitch dashboard, you mean? I don't like it. I know, I resist change, but there's a lot more clicking on it than you need now. Yeah, the new one? Yeah, I'm unhappy with it. Let me turn this down again. Yeah, I have that super loud in my ears, and I'm like, why is it so freaking loud? When you look at the current dashboard, when you, anytime Twitch, anytime, you're awesome. When you look at the current dashboard, and again, I'm making sure I don't have anything on here you shouldn't be seeing. All of your information is right here. You need to type something, you need to change something, great. Type it, click, you're good. On the new dashboard, if we go over to the new dashboard, you've got to, and I can't change this around, but you have to click this purple button over here to get to that information. And I am a huge advocate of you need as little clicks as possible to do something. The more clicks that it takes to do something is a waste of time. So they had a dashboard that was also really good. I mean, it was effective. I didn't like that, you know, it was always changing around and stuff and you had to reorder it. But it was fine. They could have updated it a different way. They also went to that, I don't know. they're not going to satisfy everyone, and for once I'm not the person they're satisfying. The ads button are so huge, they need to, yeah, everything needs to be. I also heard you talking about Brom. Have you ever used an ad blocker? I can't with Twitch. I can't be using an ad blocker and do what I need to do. So, no, with my Chrome, I don't use an ad blocker. uBlock Origin has worked well. Yeah, I don't. Maybe if I was looking at it in Firefox, I mean, I could probably use a different... I'm just against people loading up a whole bunch of ads on their site. I know she's trying to make some money, and I totally get it. Everybody wants to monetize their website and get a few cents here and there, but she used to offer the PDF version of these 100 Days of Knit Stitches lessons, and she's recently started selling that. So she removed all the PDFs. So what we used to do is I'd point them all to the main website so they'd have all of the different stitches. And then we'd work from the PDF version because there was nothing going on the PDF. And since we've started doing this, we've been at it for 16 weeks, she's gone to a paid model for the PDFs and pulled all of those off of the website. So it's like, okay, we gotta figure out a new way of going about it. But it's fine. We're adapting. We're adapting as we go. So, yeah, she hasn't lost us yet. We're just doing it differently. So I've been talking for 5 minutes. How is everybody? And yeah, Lady Frenzy, that new dashboard's coming in like 8 days. So you're not going to have the option to go back to the old Twitch dashboard, which is kind of sad. So Shiny, how are you? I don't know if we've run into each other in other streams, but it's nice to meet you. I am finishing my 3rd cup of coffee and losing my headphone. We'll get started teaching here in just a moment. I'm just warming up until we get a few people rolling in. I know we usually have people like Chris Bowman shows up, and sometimes Writer's Human shows up. I did see Writer's Human was working today, was streaming today. So I don't know if he's going to join us today. He hasn't been streaming lately, so... You're new to Twitch? Aw. Well, welcome to Twitch. I will be changing views here in a few minutes, so you'll get a different camera view of the knitting and stuff like that. But usually on Wednesdays, I want to get a few people in here first before we start rolling. Otherwise, I end up repeating myself 400 times. Not that I'm not going to. Hey, McKay. Oof, it's early for you, McKay. How are you? So, yeah, it's been a day. It is raining here. Oh, thank you for the follow, too, Shiny Happy. I appreciate that. You are awake with tea. I like it. I did tea yesterday. I went straight for coffee today. I needed coffee today. And I had oatmeal, too. Very good. Or as I like to call it, I had sugar soup with oatmeal in it. Because my oatmeal is not very plain. Otherwise it just tastes like wet cardboard to me, so... Twinsies, you probably didn't have 100 gallons of sugar in yours, though. It wasn't quite 100 gallons, but it was a lot. Are you working on anything today, McKay? I am, oh, I didn't show you guys what I did yesterday. So you all had already seen the preemie hat that I had done. The other hat is actually Kelly's wearing it back there. But I did post on Instagram yesterday. So that, you know, I could show off, I guess is the right way of putting it. But that's the way it turned out. I'm actually surprised. The adult version, it was actually small for, yeah, this was a child size hat. I was doing this hat that's on Kelly, and Kelly wears adult hats. This is an adult size mannequin. It's a little tight. I mean, even when I tried it on, it's a little tight. So an 80s stitch hat with that color work really did, it would fit like a teenager, you know? Slightly smaller than adult size. Hey there, Oki. How are you? You get the off-brand stuff, apples and cinnamon this time? Oh, we buy the generic. We're buying like instant oatmeal. So we'll buy like the big tube of oatmeal, the quick oats, and then we adulterate it. So we have a bag of pecans, and we have a little Tupperware full of brown sugar that disappears more quickly than a tub of brown sugar should. Cupcakes forever. Soon your mom's. Oh dear. So your stream supporter cupcakes, that's awesome. So yeah, the pattern on that one's the quick ombre pattern. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it is a free Ravelry pattern. I should have put that up here before I did that. I meant to go into favorites. I know you can't see what I'm doing. That's because I'm just over here clicking on crap. Really? There we go. Yeah, so here's the pattern for the hat. You can always chop up the apples and freeze them and then drop them in oatmeal. That's a lot of work. That would be, I don't do a lot of meal prep. You love the gradient. Thank you. Yeah, it's my first time of really doing color work. I have not been very good at forcing myself to do color work. But I really wanted to try that, and it's not a hard pattern at all. So it works up very quickly. I mean, the adult size hat, I almost got that done in an afternoon. And that was like an afternoon, kind of being lazy, you know, watching Netflix and knitting at the same time. So it wasn't like I was focusing only on the hat and knitting as quickly as possible or anything like that. So I'd say if you're doing a lazy afternoon of knitting, 4, maybe 5 hours, because the color work you do have to stop and pick up your second color and read a chart. It moves a little bit slower than just doing a single color hat. You don't do that either, that's why. Oh, you have an Instapot. We have one. We don't use our Instapot. The ombre effect is amazing. Yeah, that's just 2 colors. And I tested that out in like kind of leftover colors that I don't normally use. I just wanted to try it, and I didn't want to use like my more favorite colors. But now that I've seen it work up, I think I will do so. For that pattern, it comes in several different sizes. I want to say there's either 6 or 7 different sizes. This one that I did for this is an 18-inch doll. This hat was actually too big. I'd have to take it down to maybe a size 7 needle for that one. If you know, this doll has a ponytail, and that was filling up a lot of the hat. So I do have a doll that has just straight hair. There's no long hair, and this hat would be entirely too big. So this hat for a preemie size, this was the smallest preemie size that was offered, using a US 8 needle is way too big. I think you'd have to go down to a US 7 or a US 6, which would be a 4mm or 4.5mm needle instead of 5. This one is done on US 8s. It's 80 stitches. I think this was the child size hat. And usually my adult hats are done on 5mm needles and 80 stitches. I don't know why this was tighter than my typical hat, but it was. When did you change Kelly's wig? I actually change her around often. Yeah, so I've got a blonde wig and a brown wig. I actually have a black wig for her, but I don't use it very often because it's very similar to the brown. So, yeah, I've noticed that on Pinterest, when I photograph her with the blonde wig, my Pinterest posts tend to like her as a blonde. And I don't get it, because I honestly feel like the coloring of the mannequin itself really looks better with a brunette if you're looking at it in person. But for some reason, you know, when you're photographing and the light sources change kind of the colors in the picture, she looks better as a blonde with some of the hats. You threw potatoes, onions, pork chops into your Instant Pot. Oh, really? Oh, yum. Yeah, we don't eat anything quite that extravagant. I think that's why. You know, Fraser and I are going to make Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow for ourselves, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to use to cook the turkey. We've got a turkey breast. It's not a full turkey. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And when I say we, I mean he, because he's going to cook. He's going to cook that. I will help with like the mashed potatoes and stuff like that, but the turkey's his deal. We were even thinking of putting it in the crock pot overnight and just cooking it that way, you know? I mean, there's a few different ways we could do it. But under normal circumstances, we eat pasta, we eat ramen, we eat soup. We don't do a lot of, like you were saying with like the potatoes and veggies and stuff like that. We just don't. I don't know. It's, you know, we're very boring with our meals. You're really not good at pattern mods with this pattern. I would have to try that pattern out. I want to adapt it. I mean, the thing to know about this is, you know, you're gonna have your floats on the inside where you're carrying all the colors. So it would look, you know, I want to say it would look great on a blanket, but you're gonna have a wrong side blanket with a whole bunch of the little floats going. Not that that's bad looking. If you go with multicolors, this can look really stunning sometimes. But yeah, you could totally adapt that for a cowl, a hood, something, anything you're knitting in the round. Ornaments would be great. I'm thinking about trying to do some like that. But I'm not good at it either. This one has a chart, and I'm not, I barely know how to read a chart. I know how to read written knitting instructions, but I'm not good with chart instructions. This one, because it's knit in the round, it's pretty easy to follow. But if you were doing this flat, I think it might be a problem. I wouldn't know how to do it flat. Basically adding and subtracting multiples of 4. No, I am too, Shiny. I'm exactly there with you. If it involves math, I'm like, oh, never mind. I don't need to do it that bad. Yeah, I'm the same way. I am not a math whiz. So I chose, of course, something to do that requires a lot of math, because I'm a dum-dum. Alright. We're going to change camera views. We're going to change the camera views. And I'm going to make this chat a little bit bigger so I can read. There we go. Alright. So, we're gonna start to get started here. I got too much stuff up here. Alright, so we are learning today the Twigs Knit Stitch. So this is day 16. This is from the Bromefields website. If you want to follow along with this, I'm gonna start it from scratch because I didn't practice this before teaching it. We've used some of these stitches previously. So there's going to be a left-leaning knit stitch and a right-leaning knit stitch. I think that's what that stands for. And so some of these stitches where we knit into the second stitch and then the first stitch, and we're either doing it through the back loop or through the front. This is going to be some of those types of stitches for those of you that have been knitting along. So we'll watch the video. We'll watch the beginning of the video. So that we can see her demonstration of it. Jesus. And then we will carry on with my own experiment of trying this live. Thank you for the host, Lady Frenzy. You will also see that I'm going to be pointing to this on this document instead of constantly over here, because you can see we keep getting these distracting ads all over the frickin' place. I'm just going to work from a document where I pasted the actual pattern so we can get away from that. So anyway, this pattern you cast on in multiples of 13 plus 2. So you're going to do 13, 26, whatever groups of 13 plus 2. I'm going to do 26 plus 2. And that should give us a good sampling of what this will look like when it's knitted up. But it is, you know, that's a lot of stitches. So you're going to have a little wider swatch than we normally do. And I'll probably do a few repeats of this so we actually see that pattern emerge. I would suggest if you're going to knit along with us, you might want to use plain yarn. I'm using this light purple, right? I'm using this light purple yarn. You might want to use a lighter color yarn or use, you want to use a lighter color yarn. If you use something that's dark, you might have a harder time seeing that pattern. This isn't that dark, but it is. It's going to be harder to see that pattern emerge. And if you use a variegated yarn, you know, if you use something like this, the pattern's going to get lost in all of the colors. So if you have some spare yarn sitting around that's just in a plain lighter color, it doesn't have to be a specific color, but just a lighter shade. That'll probably be more helpful to you. Alright, so I started doing the cast on. I just did a plain long tail because the site did not say you had to use any specific cast on. So I just did a long tail cast on, and I'll count to see that I have the right number of stitches. I need to have 28 stitches on there. This is an 8-row repeat. You're going to have several rows where it's just all purl stitches. We're getting kind of used to this with the wrong side being all purl stitches. But we're going to be working through some of these, and there could be I haven't read this, so it's possible as we knit through I might have some questions myself that you're going to see me struggle through. So we'll all struggle through it together. Hey, Chem Man. What colorway was that? I don't know. Which one were you looking at? The multis? This one? Yeah, that's a Red Heart Super Saver. It's the pooling. So it's supposed to pool. It's made specifically so the colors will pool in different ways depending on the stitches. The colorway on that one is called Papaya. I picked that up at Joann. So depending on your location, you may not have that option. I mean, not everybody is in the US or has access to Red Heart, so I know that isn't always an option. I primarily knit with Red Heart because I'm allergic to wool in most cases, and so I can't really use the fancy yarns. Alright, so let me bring up that one so I can read the chat. I'm going to count. You guys can go ahead and start casting on if you're going to knit along with us. You can see I'm using circular needles. I knit flat on circulars. You can use whatever you have handy. You don't have to have circulars. If you just have straight needles like these guys, you know, if you just have regular old straight needles, that's totally fine too. Most of my knitting these days, because I'm knitting bigger projects or I'm knitting hats, I work on circulars, so I pretty much have become comfortable with these, but you can knit on anything that you have. It looked like the one I was running out of, and I thought it was a small world. It wasn't, though. Alright, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Wait, really? Oh boy, I had a lot more on here. 5, 10, yeah, 15, 20, it's 25, 28. What are we casting on? 13s? I don't know that I want to do like a ton of these though. Come on, girl. Get your crap together. So it would be 30 at 41, right? It would be 41 if I tried to do this even another longer amount. So Cam Man, how are you doing? 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, that's 40, and 41 is what I think I said, right? Maybe we'll do 3. I might be sad that I did this. I might be like, oh, why did I put so many stitches on here? So I'll be doing 3 full repeats of the pattern per row. So if you are looking at the pattern, first of all, if you need the pattern, do !pattern in chat. The bot will give you the link for the actual pattern. It'll take you out to the Bromfield's website. I am actually going to work from this Word document so that we don't have to, it's not a Word document, but from this document so that we have kind of a clean page and we're not looking at, you know, we're not looking at all the stuff that's going on this website. But we are going to listen to the video for a few seconds just so you see her knitting it and we all kind of get the first introduction to the stitches, and then we'll do it together. So this is how we're going to do it. All right, let me come back over here. It looked like it was one. Da, 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 da. All cut up here, no hard questions yet. Oh, wow. All right, so does anybody have questions before I get started and go over to the video? And we'll just kind of, I'm going to pause the music so we don't. Let's see if I can bring that over here. I can. I've got so many windows open, it's driving me nuts. Hey there, Chav. This is early for you? Oh no. You're doing well, trying to fix up an LED Christmas light project. I sat for a bit and doesn't seem to be running. Oh no. Oh dear. It's involving soldering? Whoa. Are you putting lights inside something? Yeah, Chav, if you want to knit along with us, we're just getting started. I'm gonna shut the music off so we can just kind of look at this. Here we go.
Start it here. Is going to be knit 1.
So this is the first row.
And then we're going to cross 2 to the right. So we're going to knit in the front of the second stitch.
So that's the RK stitch. So you see how we're going into the second stitch and then the first stitch, and then we're going to take them both off the needle. We did this either last week or the week before, so this should be relatively familiar. But that's the RK stitch, and then a few stitches later she'll do the left knit stitch.
And then we're going to slide those 2 off. And then since I already have one set done, we have a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. Alright, so we did cross 2 right, we're going to knit 2, and then we're going to cross 2 right again. So into the front of the second stitch.